All right. Once again, you're welcome to another wonderful edition of Burgundy Classic this morning. And welcome to Burgundy Classic today, Wednesday, the 30th in the month of October 2024. Well, this is where we tackle compelling issues, and today has its own part, and it is quite timely. And the topic, the proposal to reserve legislative seats specifically for women in Nigeria's parliament. Well, I'm your host, Andy Chindaba, and I'm really excited to have with you on the program too. And I've got two ladies here with me who are guests and resource persons who will bring their diverse insights into the role of gender equity in governance. Well, first of all, this is Burgundy Classics, where we discuss burning issues every Monday to Friday. And so let's kick off with the background of today's discussion. The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Abbas Tajuddin, has proposed a constitutional amendment to reserve legislative seats for women and ensure that they ensure their inclusion in joint tickets for executive roles. Now, speaking at the International Legislative Dialogue on Women and Constitutional Amendments in Abuja, Tajuddin highlighted the need for reforms promoting gender equity. He further recommended that top executive positions, such as president and vice president, should feature joint tickets with male and female candidates. Additionally, he advocated for granting citizenship rights to foreigners married to Nigerian women, similar to the rights already extended to men married to Nigerian women. Now, Tajuddin expressed concern over the low representation of women in the National Assembly, noting that since 1999, only 20 out of 469 seats have been held by women. All right, that's our outlook today. And I'll be joined in the studios. Like I told you, I'm joined here by Samira Galadima, who is the program officer at Ada Girl Education Foundation, who works tirelessly to actually uplift girls and ensure their educational access. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you. Good morning.
All right. And also, we have Rukayat Yusuf, yes, and she's a gender rights lead at the Creative Change Center, whose advocacy for the women's rights has pushed many boundaries. Samira, you're welcome. Rukayat, you're welcome.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for having me.
All right, ladies, welcome. It's wonderful to have you here to explore the crucial question: is the proposed reservation of seats for women in Parliament justified? You're welcome once again. All right. First off, I would like to look at let's look at Samira first of all and see if we can get this one straight. Samira, can you give us a look at the challenges faced by the girl child in Nigeria today? In your opinion, what are the most effective ways to tackle these issues?
Thank you. Actually, the challenges faced by the girl child are enormous. And your question is twofold: the challenges and the solutions. So, first of all, the girls are faced with significant challenges ranging from poverty, education, access to education, child marriage, and empowerment. So one of the recently there's even breast ironing. Breast ironing is one of the harmful practices that is meted upon girls. We also have the female genital cutting. So these are significant issues that girls are facing. And currently, with the increase in fuel price and stuff like that, the economy is not getting better. So we envisage a situation where more girls drop out of schools. Because as it is going now, people cannot even afford a meal sometimes. And for them to start going to school, that's actually, the school is beginning to look like luxury. Because even if they say, UBEC says that these schools are free and compulsory, but how free is it? You understand? Because they need to pay some certain percentage of money. They need to pay some fees, they need to pay PTA, they need to pay for uniforms and things like that. And some schools, some of especially in Abuja here, they post them to schools that are not very close to them. So transportation is something else. So people have decided to start going, they are not even looking at quality any longer. They are just looking at proximity. So people are going to schools that are just very close to them. That is even if they can even afford those schools. Another challenge is child marriage. In Nigeria, in particular, in Bauchi State has the highest number of child brides. When a study that was conducted by NDHS, I think it was mixed, that's the multiple indicator cluster survey, mentioned that women aged 20 to 24, when they were asked at what age did they get married, most of them, like 73.8% of them got married before the age of 18 in Bauchi State only. Wow. 73.8%. So that's a significant problem. And we are all aware. A few months back, a number of girls were married off in Niger State. A number of girls were married off. Initially, there was a lot of noise about it, and at the end of the day, nothing happened. They still got married. Yeah. And instead, at the end, what happened? People were just donating things for them, giving them sewing machine and empowerment. So you see, these are the kind of things that girls face, because mass marriage is not something that is for them. And when we look at harmful practices, there are still communities that practice female genital cutting. They still do that because they believe that it is enshrined in their own communal laws or whatever, and they feel that they want to go ahead with it. So these are certain things that girls are facing. So if some of the solutions to this is having representation. If, let's say, we had more women in the National Assembly, because that is the legislation, that's where we have the laws, the policy, that's where they come from. If we had more women there, it will help significantly to reduce, because you're having a representative, someone that will speak for you. But if the person that is there is the perpetrator of violence, and it's the person that is not, that he can't speak for you, because he's the one that is meeting that violence on you. Look at the GBV now. GBV is on the rise, especially after COVID-19. And we had the VAP Act that was at least protecting women, but in the same National Assembly, they are trying to repeal the VAP Act. So if we had women there, more women representation, do you think that bill will even go for the first reading? It wouldn't even pass first reading, but I think it has even passed the second reading. So these are the issues that we're facing, that girls and young women and women in general facing in Nigeria. Okay, all right. And Rukayat, this is quite an issue. Let me ask you, as far as you're concerned, first of all, you heard what she said, and you, as far as you're concerned, what is expected? My main question here is, does Nigeria take women's rights seriously? You think so?
I think realistically, not only statistically, but realistically, given the patriarchal nature of Nigeria, I would say not so much, but hopefully we are getting there. Hopefully we are getting there, and this legislative bill is a step forward. It's a step forward towards that action, and a temporary step towards the action, because if we were to look at it, the grand scheme of things, a lot of people are complaining of why is such a bill being passed? Is it fair and whatnot? Okay. And I think they are not looking at the grander picture of what is happening because of how used we are to this patriarchal nation we are in and the political climate towards women. For example, presently, we only have 4 female senators out of 109 Senate members. We only have 4. That is 3 points. How many percent? Approximately 4% of senators. 2.7%. 2.7%. No, 2.7%. 2.7%, which is...
That's really poor.
That is extremely, extremely poor. Then in the House of Reps, yes, we only have how many females? 16 females. 17. Right now. Oh, okay. Right now, we only have 16.
Okay.
We only have 16 females out of 360 House of Rep members. 360, which gives us a total of 20 female members in the National Assembly out of 400 469 members.
Okay.
This is an appalling statistic. It's really indicative of a lot of troubles that the girl child face. Also, recently we were ranked by the IPU, Inter-Parliamentary Reunion. Yes, we were ranked 178 out of 182 countries for representation of female representation in the parliament. We were only ahead of 2 other African countries, mind you, and those 2 other African countries are under military regime.
Oh.
Yes, which is Niger Republic, which they went through. They had a military coup last year.
Yeah.
No elections, and Eritrea.
Okay.
Yes, Eritrea, which they have not held an election since 1994. Those are the only 2 countries, African countries, we are ahead of. So this bill, I feel, is overdue and should not even be a debate. It's not even the only line of action we need to take. It's just the first step. And again, this is not a permanent step, because the bill is meant to last for only 16 years.
Okay.
Yes, it's meant to last for only 16 years, and that 16 years is to somewhat equal the playing field for women and allow them into the parliament.
Okay.
Because of the barriers holding them back, there is a gatekeeping of women from politics through several factors. We have cultural factors, we have economical factors. Women earn lesser. The getting into politics require not only time, which women don't have because of unpaid domestic labor and childcare, which we are the primary caregivers. We have institutional issues. Then we are talking about 2 fronts here, which is the language of campaigns and elections. Yes, that kind of promotes cultural expectations of appropriateness. Is a woman supposed to be in the parliament with men? Such archaic thinking, and we also have the stereotype of, can women lead? Should women hold power? I mean, we are part of 50% of said population. How can we not be in the table where legislation laws are being made that would affect us? Things like that. And we're also going to look at the stereotype, because of the language, yes, of politics, that we have so how will I phrase this? There's a violence to elections that can be seen through how campaigns are being held, the words that are being used, and also we can see through the high violent rates during elections. All those things keep women out. There are institutional issues. Then we're also going to look at how people. Okay, another argument that people bring on why women should not be included is, and it's not fair because men have to fight for this right. Women should rally other women to come and vote for them, since they are claiming they hold half of the population. Okay. Well, you have to first succeed in the primaries before you can even think. Let's imagine you have the economical power. You have to first succeed in the primaries before you can then start thinking of rallying for votes. But as we can see, that is not the case. Because for political parties, they show reports have cited a bias against women.
Okay.
In the primary level. So we can't even get past that level before we can start thinking of rallying for votes. So all these things, I believe the 74 seats proposed is one way, a very good way to help address these issues.
Okay, all right. Interesting statistics there. And Samira, let's look at boosting women's participation in politics. Now, what do you think are effective ways to increase women's participation in politics? What obstacles still need to be addressed?
That's a very good question. So, first of all, like she mentioned, or like, let's say the speaker has decided to take up, creating those permanent seats. So whether you like it or not, we must have 74 women in the House of Assembly. I think that's the first step, because we're not going to fight for those, you know that this seat is reserved for women. So that is why we're talking about gender equity here, because we might not be on the same level when we're starting off. But once I give you a step ahead, maybe I give you a pedal to climb, then we can now come together. So this is one of the issues. Then putting away like some certain barriers. For example, now I'm from Katsina State, but I am married to someone in Bauchi. Yeah. So if I want to contest, where do I contest? You know, that's a serious issue here in Nigeria. If I go to Katsina State, they'll say, no, you don't belong to us anymore. You are married to Bauchi, go to Bauchi. Okay. If I go to Bauchi State, they'll say, no, you cannot contest here because you are not our daughter. Even though I have given children that are from Bauchi, they'll say, you are not our daughter. Go back to your state. So these are things that the legislation needs to look at. We need to get a policy, a law that states that a woman can choose. I don't know whether they want it to be your matrimonial or they want it to be your birth state. So let us look at that's a very, very significant issue. And the issue of nationality also. Do you know that if I marry somebody from, let's say, Uganda now, that man he doesn't have the right to become a Nigerian. But this man, if he marries me now, if he's a Nigerian that marries a Uganda, she automatically becomes a Nigerian because she's married. So these are the kind of things that we need to look, even naturalization. These are barriers that women face. In the communities, we need to do a lot of engagement. We need to talk to our religious and traditional leaders. There are women leaders, even in Islam and Christian, there are women that have led. Like in the Christendom, we have the Mother Mary, you know, we have the safe lady of so and so. These are women leaders. In Islam, we also have them. We have Nana Khadija, she was an entrepreneur and she was a leader. She married the prophet and things like that. So when issues like this systemic, the root causes of these issues are addressed, when we engage religious and traditional leaders in our activities, when we call them to sit down and discuss, I think they know these things. So it's just for them to expose it to people to see the reality. That is when we can address the root causes, because there are a lot of things that are happening in this country, but there are solutions, but the solutions are not just out there because we are not probably doing it the right way. We don't probably use the right language. You know, sometimes, you know, when we're trying to say we're looking for gender equality, it's a bit like you're trying to like fight the men. You're trying to show them that, okay, we are on the same path. But when you're asking for equity is more accommodating. And that I'm happy that that's what the speaker is looking into. So these are some of the issues that Nigerian women face. And what significant issue is women supporting women. We women, we need to talk to ourselves, because last month, Voices of Women in Nigeria held a conference here in Abuja, and before then they had already done research. They conducted a research where they asked women at the grassroots level, why were they not voting women? Some of them said the women don't talk to them. So they don't talk to you how? That you don't come to them during campaign. And the truth is that there are 774 local governments. If a woman wants to contest for president, can she go around? It might not be easy because of funding. Like we're talking about funding. So we need to have organizations that are ready to support women. And the bar needs to be brought down a bit. If you want women to actively participate, sometimes they tell you they're having meeting at night. A woman that has children and husband, will you allow her to go out at night? Do you understand? These are things that's
a challenge. Yeah.
Yes, these are significant challenges. And if you're not there, they'll just do the deal and you're not there. It's in the morning you start hearing story. You know, things like that. So it's actually, there are a lot of systemic issues in Nigeria that need to be carted away so that we can improve. And these women that are saying that women are not talking to them, that they will come dressed in fancy clothes and all, those men, do they talk to them directly? The men usually have a structure. They have a way that they have representatives everywhere. They have, can we call them delegates or is it agents? They go and talk to them, but we don't have that capacity. We don't have the capacity to actually do that. So that is why we probably cannot do all the way that men. And a woman, when you're going through all of this, you can maybe because of women issues and all, maybe you're having cramps or something like that. The day they are going out, you might not be able to handle that. You know, things like that. So we need to accept that. We need to accept our diversity and see that, okay, how can we, that's why the bill is called inclusive legislation, right? So that we can include everyone and carry everybody along. So these are things that women, the Nigerian government and everybody here that is listening to us needs to look within and see how can you help a woman achieve something that she wants to achieve.
Okay, I think we've seen, we have heard we've seen there's sort of representation in some African countries. Probably you want to give us examples of such countries, like Rukayat.
Okay. Yes, so we have had such special temporary special measures. We have had such temporary special measures in 3 African countries. Right, I know of. We have in Kenya, we have had in Uganda, and we have had in Tanzania. And as we can see, when women are being involved in politics, yes, there is better governance. It is a more inclusive space, not just for women, but for youth too. It's more inclusive for everybody, so it's beneficial to the entire nation. There's also less corruption because of the transparency that women bring. And also, when women are in the legislative, yes, there is different focus. Because of our different lived experiences, women bring about a new focus, a new experience to legislation. For example, when it has been shown, studies, that when there are more women in parliament, there is focus, priority in healthcare, education, and social welfare. And these are three very, very important sectors worldwide, and also three sectors in Nigeria that need improvement. So the bringing of these 74 seats will impact the nation generally, which is a very, very good thing. And as Mrs. Samira have said here, there is a lot of systematic issues that need to be addressed. And I feel like it's all boiled down to stereotypes. There's a very, and we cannot undermine or understate the importance of stereotypes, especially in women in politics, and how it holds us back. For example, now we are having there's this known and unknown stereotype of if you're a woman, because of their late night dealings, automatically not being compared to your male peers, you're going out in the night. How can she be a mother? How can she be a family woman? Quote and unquote, that ashawo phrase, such negative connotation, and it does lead to social alienation, which is a big problem, because nobody, regardless of gender, wants to be excluded from their community. Nobody wants to be treated as an outcast. So that will lead, obviously, to lower participation or willingness of women to go into that field.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. And, since that is a problem, do you think these stereotypes are evolving, especially among the younger generations? Let me place it to you, Samira.
Yeah, thank you. I'm happy that she mentioned African countries and all. Let us look at, before I answer your question, let us look at Rwanda. Rwanda
is a good example here too.
Yes, they have over 60% of women in parliament, and they are thriving. Before this increase in the dollar rate and all our civil servants, where were they going for trainings? Rwanda. Yes. Why? Why are they going to Rwanda? Because Rwanda has a very good environment, because their economy is booming, because it's a better place. And why is it a better place? Because they have more women in parliament. Women are channeling the money in the right places. There are no loopholes. So, back to your question. You asked.
Okay. I was asking about the stereotypes.
Okay, the stereotype, yeah.
She was talking about, Rukayat was talking about. I said, do you think that it's still evolving? How do you think it's evolving among the younger generations?
The stereotypes are still there, but they are reducing. The reason why they are reducing, because every day now there's more awareness. And we have come to realize that to be able to tackle those root causes, those stereotypes that we have, is to use gender transformative approaches. And we have started, those of us in the civil society sector, have started engaging men and women, men and young men. We started engaging men and boys. Okay. We started engaging them in our programs as allies. I'm sure you've been hearing of he for she. What is he for she? Those he for she's are the male champions. We call them positive deviants, because they are advocating for our cause. Because you cannot win, it's not a battle, but you cannot get this thing right if you do not involve men. Who are the people that, so you have to involve, so that's why men are now they are now incorporated as allies in development programs. They are incorporated as allies. Who is the person that is talking about this? Is the Speaker of House of Representatives, right?
Abbas, yes.
Honorable Tajuddin Abbas. Yeah. And he's a man. But he realized that we cannot move forward without a woman. They always say that men that have strong mothers, they thrive. And that is proven. I don't have any research to back that up, but we have seen it. That's realistic. So, because it's your mother that will push you go to school. It's your mother that will tell you, well, come and do your assignment. It's your mother that will say, where are you? Come back. Don't go out. It is late. So, usually the fathers go to work. So, if you as a young man, if you don't think that it is important to have create an environment for women to thrive, that wife that you marry, how strong will she be? Will she be able to take care of your children? So it all boils down to you. The reality is that men need to understand that if women are well taken care of and given their rights, it is God-given. It is not man-given. It is God-given. Women are actually being able to amplify their rights. It's going to come back. You're going to be the one that will enjoy it more. So men need to understand. So engaging men and boys as allies in activities and all has helped significantly, and we'll continue to do that because they need to understand that we are not threats, but what are we? Allies. We all have a common goal, but we cannot achieve that goal until we come together.
Okay, all right. We still got a lot to talk about, and just one more question, Rukayat. Let's exempt women like Beta Edu Abi. All right. Okay. Now, what role does education play in empowering women politically? Yeah. You talked about going to Rwanda, learning quite a lot from the Rwandans because it has changed their game. Now, what about us?
Thank you so much for asking this question. What role does education have to play with the empowerment of women? So in this, it comes in two forms. It comes with the enlightenment. They say you cannot fight for your rights if you don't know your rights. So that education, we are going to be educating the girl child to know, okay, these are my God-given rights. These are things that I can do, and you can't have access to certain capacity building trainings if you don't have certain level of education or exposure. So that's part of it, and there's also part of the economic, the positive economic increase we are going to see. That when women are more educated, it means we have more women in the workforce. It means what? More money back to the economy, which generally it's a good thing for everybody. That, and also it has been seen that for girl-child marriages, yes, it happens more often in poorer communities, and that's because the girl-child marriage is seen as a way to offload that economical burden that the girl child is. So when we empower her through education, we are reducing. There's a direct correlation to education and the reduction of girl child marriages. So we are reducing girl child marriages, improving our economy, and also there's even a case of how there is more domestic violence, yes, in poorer communities. And poorer communities, these women are not educated. Again, they don't know their God-given rights, as Mrs. Samira have said. They don't know their God-given right. So when we educate them, it's a transformative thing all around. The women benefit and the nation benefits. And again, we would have more qualified women in parliament. So hopefully maybe in the next 16 years, when this bill, if it's passed, when this bill is being revised, we are going to have women that have built the capacity through education to be able to sit down in those roles, which is going to be better for our social. As I said, women prioritize healthcare, education, and social welfare. And look at countries like Rwanda. Who knows? Maybe someday people will be flocking into Nigeria.
Wow.
Exactly.
Well, ladies, it's been incredibly exciting and enlightening having you on the program. And we're still on. It's the time that we give to the listener out there. It's your turn to share your views with us. You can call immediately and communicate, talk to the ladies here. Let's hear your views. I know a lot of men will love to go. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Andy.
Yes, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing fine. My name is Bala Mohammed. I'm calling from Zuba Fruit Market.
Okay, Bala, you're welcome. All right. Please, have you been following us?
Thank you, Mr. Andy.
All right.
And I agree with you guys having today.
All right. Yes, they're saying hello to you.
Sincerely speaking, I don't know how this bill will, it has seen the light, but I don't know how it will work. If you understand, because when you look at way back lane, right from the First Republic, you will understand that a woman plays in Nigerian politics is questionable. Because right from the beginning, the foundation for a woman politics has not been there. And it goes on to the Second Republic and now. You understand? You see, I don't know, like the context we are having in Nigeria is a kind of money politics. They don't vote you out of your credence. Rather, some vote out of, money-wise. If you are a money bag, they go for you because you throw money around and you are the winner already. So, and the woman cannot rub shoulder money-wise with the man. You understand? And coupled with our own tradition and religion, you understand? That hinders a lot, for the woman to strive in politics. More especially where I come from. I am a Muslim. I come from the north. You understand? And like one of your guests even said, how would it look like 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock at night, you are with your wife, you're sleeping, then all of a sudden somebody called her and tell her that please run to Toto Hotel, that we are having an emergency meeting by 12 or 1 at night. You understand? As a Muslim, how somebody might bear it, but the way I look at it, it might likely have an impact on that marriage. Even if the husband, consents with all these things, gradually it will come to a certain stage that marriage cannot hold again. You understand? So having women occupying 70-something seats, I think the woman can have some seats, but having that, this is democracy, and it's an issue of vote. You understand? And let me even tell you, there was this woman that came out as a presidential candidate some years back. I think she's from Plateau or somewhere, I don't know. You understand? But during the primary, there were so many women within that primary. But she got only one vote, only her own vote. She voted for herself. That was when she casted out. And the women were there. What happened? Money. And the woman doesn't have the money.
All right.
So I don't know how this bill is going to work through. I don't know. Good morning, Andy.
All right. Good morning. Thank you very much, Bala Muhammad there. And, as you heard, it's talking about certain things that are barriers. Religion is one of them, and others. Hello. Good morning. Hello.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. And how are you?
I'm fine, brother. Good morning to the guests in the studio. My name is Abdullahi Adamadan Amina, as usual.
Okay, Abdullahi, you're calling from where?
I'm calling from Sunset area.
Okay, Sunset area. All right, you're welcome.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. This issue is raising so much concern, but we have 2 things at stake, which the guest has already raised some alarm on it, which is quite worrisome. And I believe all of us, we knew what is happening in the train of politics in Nigeria. As the earlier last caller said, even the women themselves, they don't like themselves. I must be frank to you. If a woman will come out to contest for a Senate seat, a senatorial seat, while a man will come, and within the primary election, let's have a 50-50 women that will vote. Believe me, with no any argument from anybody, that 50% of those women are still going to vote for that man. Except if towards the amendment of the Constitution, the seat that women are looking for will just be mandated. This seat is for women, whether there's contention or no contention, there's election or no election, the seat belongs to them. That can happen in this country. But without that, my brother, I'm very sorry. I think it's going to be difficult. Secondly, religion matters. Religion matters. Because I, as a Muslim, I look at it in this perspective. When we talk of equality, there is no anything one can do to make a woman and man to be equal. Because God did not create man and woman to be equal. Equality in that aspect cannot come. But consideration will be done. If you are human, you have a human feeling, and you believe this woman is capable of doing this, we are good to go with it. But equality in Islam, it will never work. And I know my sisters there, they are Islam. They know what Islam is saying about it. And even the Christianity that I know, because I went to a Roman Catholic primary and secondary school, even in the Bible, there is no equality in women with men. The security is from God, and we have to accept it. Except we should put the playback game system in the politics. These women are our sisters, and they are human beings as we are, and we really want to go with them. As my sister says, you don't expect my wife while I'm in the bed sleeping, and so we call her by 2 o'clock that she wants to go for a meeting. It will not work out. Except if we will fully copy what we are copying, the politics. We should borrow what we are borrowing from the white men, let them remain a single mother or a single woman with her children without a husband, and she wants to go into politics without a husband. And which, the culture and the tradition, the religion will play a vital role that in castigating them out of that. So, my brother, we have a very long way to go in politics.
Okay.
We have a very long way to go in this system because of religion. Until the day we start thinking about the fairness of it, then we will meet the target. Nigeria.
Thank you very much, Abdullahi. Yeah, all right. Abdullahi's statement there touches on a lot of critical issues. And of course, concerning women's solidarity, the societal attitudes towards women and religion, religious interpretations to it. And well, it makes sense. We're all laid out for the ladies right here in the studio after we listen from our callers. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, how are you?
I'm fine. My name is Tahir Amin.
Okay, Tahir.
Tahir Amin.
Yes. All right, Tahir, you're welcome. And you've been following. Are you an advocate for women's seats in the parliament?
Okay. Good morning to our guests in the studio. So the thing is, all the two callers have already spoken my mind because Nigeria is a complex country, and we need to look out for what works for us. Like you said, one of the last caller, except if seats are going to be made solely or exclusively for ladies in that way, there is no way this is actually going to work. Because you can't take away religion of Nigeria. It's not possible. Religion is very important. I'm a Muslim, and certainly in Islam there is politics. And even some of the analysis, they've highlighted so many limitations to women being involved in politics, which they also know that. So for me, our advice is accept the role that God has given you in good faith. Accept it. And even one of the callers, the guests, they highlighted that even in Islam, there are women leaders. Just a point of correction. Nana Khadija not actively participated in politics. She was an entrepreneur and she handed over everything to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So this is it. So the fact that there's the issue of religion, it's not actually going to work in Nigeria. So perhaps we have to look out for a model that will suit Nigeria for women to be involved. Without that, saying that men are going to vote for women, I don't think it's actually going to work out in this country. Even the women themselves, when they tell them to choose for a leader, they will actually vote for men, not actually women. So I think it's actually not going to work out. The political space in Nigeria is messed up. Money, so many things are being involved, which women can actually not do. So some people can go to any length to do whatever it is to win their seat, which women actually will not be able to do. And so many homes, if many women want to get involved in politics, I can guarantee them for a fact that so many homes will be broken. And in the long run, they will not be happy with the result.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Tahir. All right. That was Tahir. And Tahir was actually emphasizing acceptance of traditional roles and possibly suggesting a skepticism towards efforts to challenge existing gender norms. Well, let's still receive calls. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Andy.
Yes, how are you?
I am fine. How is work?
Work is fine. The familiar voice.
The guest in the studio, I welcome you. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
My name is Oga Gabriel. I'm calling from Guarimpa this morning.
Okay. Well, welcome.
Andy, you see some behavior of our politicians. If they want to have the sympathy of some people, persons or group of persons, they'll get up and start, bringing up issues that will not help us at this situation. Now we are talking about politics here. Somebody is saying that we should give the women 75% seat in the National Assembly. It is not bad. It is politics. Politics is not giving. Position in politics is not giving. It is earned. It is sought for. Not by saying we should come and contest this election and you win because they have enshrined it in the Constitution. Now, we in the last election, we have a woman or women contested for presidency. How many women voted for them? What they want the men to do? Is it to leave all the seats for the women as if it is by appointment? It's not possible. In politics, in democracy, like I say, you have to fight for it. You don't have to, to be given. Women, because women, they say women should have a 70 or 75% seat in the assembly. Men should not contest for the position they're supposed to contest. We have multi-parties in Nigeria, not only one-party system. If it is a one-party system, they'll say, okay, if you are contesting under this party, if you are contesting for presidency, your vice must be woman. That will work. But since it is a multi-party, every party may decide to give any position to the woman, and not even only giving. The woman has to fight for. The woman has to fight for. You understand me? Well, they have said it all. Let's leave religion alone. No religion will allow the woman to leave her husband in the night to go and do meeting with men in the hotel. No religion will accept that. You understand me? Mm-hmm. And secondly, you see, during 2007 or so, a woman from Kwara State, Sarah Jibril, contested against Obasanjo, and this woman was alone to herself. No woman supported her. She came out crying before the public when they were, trying to go to, do their screening or debating. This woman cried out that the woman should come to her aid, men should come to her, but no woman supported her. And you are telling us that women should be given 75% position in the National Assembly. The money aside, a woman can be so lucky, even if she doesn't have money, woman can support her, can sponsor her to get to a place. But the women herself are not helping themselves. Like the other case said, if a woman goes to the meeting regularly, either in the night or so, they'll give her a child or something like that. It's the same woman that gives this name.
The same woman that gives the names. Okay, all right. Thank you.
You understand? So I think the deal will not work.
Okay.
Even if they say it will not work.
Okay.
Because we are living in democracy. Good morning.
All right, thank you very much, Oga Gabriel. He said the bill will not work. That's his perspective of that. And of course, too, he mentioned quite a lot of issues there. We'll just take one more last call and then get back to the ladies in the studio. They're itching to give up their own part of the story. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, how are you?
Is that Shola or...
Oh, this is Andy.
My name is Benga.
Okay, Benga, good morning. How are you?
Is that Andrew? Okay.
Yeah, this is Andrew. Andrew.
How are you there?
Fine, thank you, bro. Okay, there.
I have a lot of things that women, the politicians do meetings in the night. I mean, no, let's not demonize the politicians. They don't only do meetings in the night. They do meetings in the day. We had a woman that contested for governorship seat in Adamawa, and he put the man who was sitting governor on his toes. He gave me a run for his money. I don't think that woman did any meeting, if there's any. And let's not castigate the politicians that they always do their meeting tonight. Women can contest for any position. If the will, if the support they need. We have women who today can rule Nigeria. If the will and the support they need, and they are not getting it. The only question I have against this 35% affirmative, whatever, is that how will it be practiced? It is only possible in a one-party state where if the party disagree. No, this position it is all women. Because if APC say, look, in Adamawa, women should come out, and PDP say no, it's a man. The popular council say no, we don't want a woman, we want a man. How will you guys? We don't know if it's a man, he disqualified. He must only be a woman. If we say in Lagos, they give 3 women slots, and the party did not agree to that, how will it happen? What I'm saying is that since we have multiple party, it is very difficult to affirm that number, that social percentage must be represented in National Assembly, unless there's a law that look in each senatorial district, it must be a woman for all the parties. And that in our democracy difficult to practice. That's the only thing I have against this proposal. Apart from that, I'm in support of it because women are tender. Women. Let me tell you something. If we look at the corruption cases in Nigeria, it's only one woman that we can say, I've gone beyond the line, which is the former Minister of Petroleum, Danani Wade. If you look at the cases of something, women are very few. Meaning that women will help us because they are mothers. They know what it takes to raise a family and maintain a family. I think they will see Nigeria as their family and take care of it. If a woman contests for presidency, I will vote for her. Because I believe that woman will be very compassionate and be a listening woman. Women don't take rash decisions like a man. Women are very meticulous in their decision. The man can just look and say, I'm going to London today. I want to buy this and that. The woman will call him and say, come here. This you want to buy. What is the benefit? How will it help us in the family? But that is the ask from the man. The man will say, I didn't even think of that. It happened in marriage. Yeah. But they can sit down and see how they can get it better. But that affirmative 35% whatever may not work. Okay. But there's no the politician. Woman can go to politics. You don't think need the bill and meeting only in the night. Anyway, the night will say, because even Zoom, we have online meeting today. We have Zoom, we have other platforms.
Quite okay.
Can do their meeting.
All right.
So women should be encouraged.
Thank you. Thank you very, very much for your own submission there. All right, I guess that's the much we can take on the calls this morning. And also believing that our guests here, the resource persons, have a lot to say about what the callers have responded to. Please, let me start from Samira.
Thank you very much. Our callers have asked very great questions, and we like your contributions. They are great. First of all, to clear the notion, we didn't say that they are giving out 75% to women in the National Assembly in the Parliament. What they said is 74 seats out of the over 400 seats. So women are just scrambling for just 74 of those 400 and above seats.
Basically, only 15%.
So you see,
15%.
it's just 15%, not even 35 like the last caller mentioned. So it's just 15%. And one of the callers, that's I think Abdullah, mentioned that Nana Khadija was not a leader. Yeah, I didn't say she was a leader. We mentioned that she was an entrepreneur. She was a powerful woman, a strong woman that has helped men. And we have Aisha radiallahu anha in Islam. When the Prophet died, she led a war. She was part of the people that took that and led her, and she has taught people. She has taught, even she had male students, and a lot of her deeds. She narrated a lot of hadiths. When you're going through the hadiths, you see Aisha radiallahu anha there. So I think it's not something that is actually new in Islam. And if we look at even the Nigerian political landscape, in which states have women gotten to the stage of gubernatorial candidates, into the stage of, it's in the north, in Adamawa, where we have Benani the last time, and Mama Taraba in Taraba states. So I think it's even very, we're even more accommodating in those aspects. We're even more, the north is even more accommodating. Because I know that in Lagos, at least they tend to always have a female. They had, I think, for some two terms or so, a female deputy governor. But I don't know what happened. And it just stopped again. Because I think the reality is that we're supposed to be progressing instead of regressing. So, but the issue is that it seems like we're regressing in Nigeria. Because democracy came since in 1999. But look at what's happening now. We had more seats initially, and now the numbers are shrinking every day. Again. So, and we call ourselves progressives. Are we progressing? So I think that's one thing we should look at. And we've had women that have created strong impacts. Look at Amina Mohammed in the UN now. She has created significant impact. Everybody is happy. Everybody wants to attach to her. Everybody wants to get things through her. Everybody wants to associate with her. Look at Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala in the World Bank. Ngozi has done significant. She has contributed significantly to this company. There's a lot of impact from those women. So I think what we need to understand is that women are not a threat to us, but rather they are allies, they are partners. And I quite agree with you, with the callers. Most of them mentioned that only if the women will be given the seat. The women might not just be given the seat, but the law, the bill will state that. For example, what the last caller said, I think that's a very good suggestion. If you're fielding out 3 senators from, 3 persons here from each of the senators in each state, then one should be a woman. I think that will contribute. That's the first step. Yes. So we know that we are not yet there, but we'll get there. This is just the first step. Okay, thank you very much, Samira. 2 minutes, Rukayat, to your final words.
Yes. So a caller I mentioned talked about the financial barriers, economic barriers for women, and I feel like this is why women are needed in politics, because it highlights certain issues in the political system in Nigeria. For example, money politics. The idea of politics is meant to be for the people, by the people, not who has the highest dollar. It shouldn't be. So when we have with this, yes, I say that I would still hammer on the point that when there are more women in politics, more women in the parliament, yes, it brings about more inclusion, because we also want the youths to be in those political spaces, but obviously they don't have the financial capacity of some of the older veteran politicians. So yes, this is actually a problem that we should look into. A limitation, not a barrier. When we talk about limitations, we don't talk about them as, yes, there's a problem, then we fold our hands. We say there's a problem, and what will we do to solve this problem? Because as my co-host has said, this Nigeria, we have not been progressing. Since 2007, there have been a downward steady plummet of female parliamentarians. The highest we had was in 2007, which was approximately 10%. And right now, we are trying to glamour for 15%. I don't think people understand how little, as of now, 15% is. And it is not even a permanent measure, and it is not even the only measure that should be taken. Okay. It is the first step in the right directions. Studies show, sentiment aside, yes, because we are thinking of nation building here, we have to look at what works statistically. It has been shown that when more women are involved in parliament, the nation is better. We have a problem of corruption. There is less corruption. There is more transparency. As a caller mentioned, women are more risk averse. These are important traits that should be when making policies. Also, somebody talked about the late nights, the midnight hotels. Yes,
I think you got just about 10 seconds to make that.
Okay. Yes. So let me quickly prioritize. When we're talking about equality or equity, we are not talking about in the sense that men are the same as women. We are talking about mental capacity, and it has been shown that women do have the mental capacity to lead. It is there. It is statistically proven. So yes, for that equality that people have a problem with, it is not a fight. It is mental. Are you capable? And yes, it has been shown that we are capable if allowed, but we do have barriers, not set by us, but by the society that is keeping us out of that position. And those barriers should be addressed and solutions should be found for them. Thank you very
Once
much.
again, ladies, I said it's been incredibly enlightening having you on the program today. We've been talking to Samira Galadima. Galadima, she is a program officer at Ada Girl Education Foundation. What was that correction again?
Program manager.
Program manager. Okay, all right. Thank you very much. Thank you for your perspectives, and also Rukayat Yusuf. You need to see Rukayat's size. Well, the gender rights lead at the Creative Change Center, whose advocacy for women's rights has, we've seen is pushing boundaries. Thank you very much, ladies, for joining us. And as it is, would say thank you to each and every one of you. Let's keep this discussion let's make it more than just a debate about seats. Let's look at it as a deeper need for societal change. Okay, thank you, Samirat and Rukayat.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
All right, and dear listener, thank you very much too. And producer Chinedu Chanu, thank you very much for curating today's topic. And thank you each and everyone for joining in the conversation. My name is Andy Chindaba, and keep on striving for an inclusive Nigeria where every voice matters. I'll join you again tomorrow morning. Bye.